Alrighty, what's up everybody? Peter Gilmore here for my second video of the night. Once again here on the Peter Gilmore YouTube wrestling page, youtube.com/Peter Gilmore. Thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button down below on this channel and all my other channels, which are down below in the description box. And as always, friend me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. And hit that bell, turn on all my notifications so you never miss an upload, so you can stay in the loop and know when my videos come your way, and you can watch them and have fun. And if not, well, fuck you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in the description box below is my AEW review. Just did a little while ago. So check it out before or after you watch this video, or whenever you feel like it. And that's pretty much it. So check it out, link down below in the description box. That's it. Alright, on this Friday night, January the 24th, 2020, it is time for your late and out-of-date NXT review for January the 22nd, 2020 from Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. Well, another week of NXT, and this was supposed to be a big show, highlighted by the North American title with Roderick Strong and Keith Lee. We got that. We also had the semifinals of the Dusty Rhodes Big Dream Baby Tag Team Classic. We got the Grizzled Young Veterans and the Undisputed Era going at it. And we also had Imperium taking on Matt Riddle and Pete fucking Thunder Bruiserweights. Had that. We had a couple other things happening on. We had Finn Balor. I also had Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades, I should say, on the show. And we had some other stuff happening. So, it was a pretty decent show. Like I said in my AEW review, the ratings are in, and AEW won again. 172,000 views, compared to NXT's 769,000 views. So, another week of AEW kicking NXT's ass. You know, AEW was a taped show. Of course, it was the Jericho Cruise. They're going to have a live edition of AEW this week. Or go against a live edition of NXT once again. So we'll see what happens with the ratings this coming week, next week, on the programs. And that's it. Let's see what happens as they gear up for the final shows of January. Already the end of January, if you can believe it. Time flies when you're having fun. And if you're a wrestling fan, you're not having much fun. But it is what it is. And that's all I got to say about that. So let's get to NXT. Let's not waste any more time. We start off the night with a recap of what happened last week with Bianca Belair winning the women's battle royal to face Rhea Ripley at NXT TakeOver Portland. We had that happening on the show as well, with the Dusty Rhodes American Dream Tag Team Classic, the end of the first round matches, or the quarterfinals if you think about it. Because really, if you have a tournament, you're supposed to have like rounds, and in the WWE, you only have like the finals, the semifinals, and the finals. It's not a tournament. In my eyes, it's not a tournament. But I digress. And that's all I can say about that. So we had the start of the semifinals matches. We had the Grizzled Young Vets, Gibson and Drake. On the Undisputed Era of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, we had Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, baby. Bang. I should say, and they come out. And Adam Cole goes right up to Mauro Ranallo and says, "I know Imperium is here, but we're not hard to find. We're not scared." And then pending Imperium Undisputed Era clash might happen. See. So we get to the match. Match was pretty decent. It was alright. It's also with Gibson and Kyle. Kyle takes control with some strikes. Drake comes in, and Bobby Fish distracts him as Kyle hits a Dragon Screw leg whip. Ouch. Then the Undisputed take control on Drake for a while. Back and forth. Kyle working on the knee of Drake, grounding him and covering for a near fall. Drake fights him off, tags in Gibson. Kyle cuts him off with a flurry of strikes and some kicks. Drake comes back in, and the Grizzly Young Veterans run amok on the Undisputed Era with some double teams taking control. Then they isolate Kyle O'Reilly. Drake ground and pounds a little bit. Excuse me. And then Adam Cole, baby, distracts Drake, allowing Kyle to fight back. Tags in Bobby Fish. He goes nuts on the Grizzly Young Veterans, counters into a knee bar on Gibson, but Gibson makes the ropes. He follows with a Samoan drop, misses the lion salt. Drake tags back in. Gibson hits Helter Skelter for an air fall. And Fish then runs them into each other, dumps Drake to the floor, and then Kyle takes out Drake on the floor. Then he hit Chasing the Dragon on Gibson, but that only gets 2. It used to be their finisher, but now it's not the finisher anymore, which it should be, but it's just what it is. Then all 4 men on the ring. The Grizzly Young Veterans take control as Drake and Fish trade strikes in the middle of the ring. Kyle then comes in and they double team on Drake. And then Imperium's music hits. They arrive on that little platform above the announcer's table. Causes a distraction which leaves Kyle eating Ticket to Mayhem. And that's it. So the Grizzly Young Veterans pick up the upset win over the Undisputed Era. They move on to the finals. Decent match. I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. But this sets up for tomorrow night's Worlds Collide event. Imperium will face the Undisputed Era in a 8-man tag team match. And I gotta say, I feel bad for Adam Cole because he's gonna get his ass handed to him by Walter. And I think Imperium is gonna get the win tomorrow night. But I don't care because I'm not watching the fucking show. And I really don't care about it that much. That's all I gotta say about that. Even though I'm a big Adam Cole mark. But I just don't feel like watching the show. And that's it. So I gave the match 2.5 out of 5 stars. So the Grizzly Young Veterans go into the finals. They will face either Imperium or the Broserweights next week on the program. I thought the finals would be at TakeOver, but I guess the tag team title match will be at TakeOver. Whoever wins the tournament will face Undisputed Era for the tag belts. And probably win the tag team belts because the Undisputed Era's time their prophecy is about to come to an end. And except for maybe Adam Cole, so I think Adam Cole will, if he has a match at TakeOver Portland, he's probably going to retain. And then he's going to lose the belt either at WrestleMania or at NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay to Tommaso Ciampa. That's what I think is going to happen. Though they're saying it might be Finn Balor, which I really don't want. I'd rather have Ciampa than Balor as a champion. Because they're hyping a match with NXT on WrestleMania. So Adam Cole and Finn Balor, they had a graphic of that on Facebook. But as we all know, Facebook lies. So we don't know. But I'd like to see an NXT match on WrestleMania. That would be nice. Maybe with Adam Cole, baby. And that's pretty much it for that. And we move on. Alright, then we get a video package hyping the Toni Storm Rhea Ripley match at Worlds Collide for the NXT Women's title. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not the Women's title no more, because they're about to change that to the NXT Championship. Stupid. That's a stupid idea. Getting rid of the women's word in the women's title. So they're just going to call it the NXT Championship, which makes no sense at all, and it completely messes everything up. So they can't call it the SmackDown Women's title, they're going to call it the SmackDown title. So that makes the Universal title a SmackDown title. I mean, it makes no fucking sense. And Becky Lynch saying that she originally said that they need to take the word women out of the picture. And then she recanted her statement on Twitter. I personally don't give two shits. Women want equality. They're getting some sort of equality. Women's revolution is a joke, or the evolution is a joke right now. And the women's division in WWE is a joke. That's all I gotta say about that. Let me move on. So we get that. See what happens with Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley at Collide. I think Rhea Ripley will retain tomorrow night. And then go on to NXT TakeOver Portland to face Bianca Belair. And that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we get a Shotzi Blackheart promo. Basically saying that she's going to beat Shayna Baszler later. She eliminated her last week from the women's Battle Royal. So, that match. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we get to match number 2. Toni Storm facing my first wife, Io Shirai. Decent match. It was alright. The ending was kind of dumb, but I think it serves its purpose for Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley, and you throwing Bianca Belair in there. But anyway, the match was okay. Like I said, they lock up for position. Io takes her down. Toni comes back with some strikes and some kicks until Io cuts her off with a drop kick. Toni comes back with a big boot for a near fall. Falls with some uppercuts, and then Io fires back. And they go to the floor. And she drop kicks Toni as she was draped in the ropes. And Io grounds and pounds for a while. Toni escapes but runs into a shoulder tackle. And Io goes back to work on some ground and pound as we go to break. Come back, Toni fights out of a crossface, but Io counters into a double stomp and hits the double knees in the corner. Toni counters and follows with a German suplex, and then a clothesline gets a near fall. Goes for Storm Zero. Io counters out of it, but Toni recently knocks her out with a sick-looking lariat. Near fall. And then Io comes back with a cradle of her own for a near fall. Goes for 619. It's blocked. And then Io's dumped to the outside. And then Bianca Belair comes out to attack, causing disqualification. You know, Bianca and Io had their differences a couple weeks ago. And I guess they're going to continue feuding in the next couple weeks. Even though Rhea Ripley is the main target. But I don't know. See what happens with that. Bianca attacks Io at the end of the match. And then Bianca's beating up Io, and then Rhea Ripley comes out. And then they brawl. And then Toni and Io both get involved, and it ends as Toni poses with the NXT Women's title. I was thinking maybe we'd get a tag team match with Toni and Rhea going against Io and Bianca Belair, but we didn't get that. That would have been interesting, but it is what it is. So we get that, and Toni poses with the NXT Women's title as maybe a precursor to what might happen at Worlds Collide in their match. But like I said, I think Rhea Ripley will win the match, retain, and start her little storyline with Bianca Belair over the women's title at TakeOver Portland. And I think she will win there as well. And she's going to go on a nice reign with the belt. I really don't know who's going to beat Rhea Ripley for that belt. I really don't. Might be Io. I think they'll give it to Io again. I really don't know who else they can get to stop Rhea. Maybe Toni Storm, but other than that, you only got really 3 challengers. Maybe Shayna, but I think Shayna's going to the main roster soon. She's going to appear at the Royal Rumble on Sunday in the Women's Royal Rumble match as a surprise entrant. Probably win the match. If not, it's going to be Ronda Rousey coming back. But we'll see. But all in all, the match was alright. The finish kind of sucked, so I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. But yeah, you should have had separate things with Toni and Rhea, and then Bianca and Io. You know, just have them separated a little bit. It just kind of looked like a clusterfuck of a finish. But that's all I gotta say about that. And we move on from there. Alright, then we get the Undisputed Era. Backstage, they are pissed about the loss to the Grizzled Young Veterans. Adam Cole, baby, tells them they need to put the focus on Keith Lee and his match against Roddy later in the night for the North American title. So the prophecy is starting to disintegrate right before the Undisputed Era's eyes, and it doesn't get any better for them, if you know what I mean. By the end of the night, get to that later. Forget that. Let me move on. All right, then we get a Ilja Dragunov promo. I begin his match with Finn Balor, which should be a pretty good match. I think it won't be a 4 or 5 star match. I think it'll be a pretty decent match. I think Finn Balor will win that match. I really don't know much about Ilja Dragunov. I don't watch NXT UK, so I don't know much about him, but I really don't care. And that's all I gotta say about that. And we move on. And speaking of Finn Balor, we get to your squash match of the week. As he takes on DJZ. Joaquin Wilde, if you want to be specific. Balor beat the crap out of him in two minutes. So if you went to the bathroom, you came back, the match was over. Balor kicked his ass, started talking crap. He says, if you come to Finn, you better come correct. Something like that. Hits John, woo! Then the coup de grace, and then 1916, or the Bloody Sunday, if you want to be specific. And finishes off Joaquin Wilde. And that was it. And 2 damn minutes. And that was it. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. And Finn looks ready for Ilja Dragunov on tomorrow night. Then he's got Johnny Gargano to worry about at Takeover Portland. We'll see what happens with that when we get there. We start that little run to the feud, that little hype going to that match. We already started, but we'll get more maybe storyline progression with that probably this coming Wednesday night on the program. And that's it. Alright, then we get the Shayna Baszler promo saying Shotzi ended her own career before it even began. And she says she's not going anywhere, and Rhea Ripley will eventually fall to her, and she'll get the title back for the 3rd time. But we'll see what happens with that. I give that 2 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get a DIY video of Gargano and Ciampa as they take on Mustache Mountain tomorrow night. And Worlds Collide. Should be a great match with Tyler Bate and Trent Seven of Mustache Mountain going against Gargano and Ciampa. Should be a great match. I think DIY will win, but you never know. But we'll see. And that's it. Alright, then we get the Shayna Baszler and Shotzi Blackheart. Decent match. Wasn't great. This was fallout from Shotzi eliminating Shayna last week in the Battle Royal, like I mentioned before. Match was good. Shotzi's got a lot of heart. Intended Blackheart. She really held her own against Shayna. With some strikes and a DDT. Shotzi hits an insecurity, then a reverse sling blade, then a cannonball. Next after that, Shotzi goes up top, Shayna cuts her off, but Shotzi counts into a really bad-looking sliced bread on the apron. I thought Shayna was hurt there. She didn't get up really well. And then she goes for the senton splash. Shayna taps her out with a Kurofita clutch. So Shayna gets back to her winning ways. Just to win. Quick little match. Match I gave 2.25 out of 5 stars. Pretty solid match. And afterwards, Shayna keeps the submission on. Basically sending a message to Shotzi. You don't mess with her, you don't throw her out of a battle royal, damn it. So we'll get that. Maybe there's still a little feud. A couple matches between them. I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do with Shayna. I think Shayna's swan song is going to come probably at NXT TakeOver Portland. And she's going to go to the main roster right after that. She will debut at the Royal Rumble in the women's match. Possibly win the match on the WrestleMania, which will be her main roster debut. Maybe before then, who knows. And she'll take on, if she wins the Royal Rumble, she'll take on, I would think, Becky Lynch, because Becky needs challengers, and it'll be nice to have Shayna Baszler as that #1 contender. I really don't want to see Ronda, as much as Ronda might be coming back. I don't want to see Ronda again at WrestleMania against Becky, because it'd be a carbon copy of WrestleMania 35, just throw out Charlotte. That's it. Like that. So we see what happens with Shayna over the next couple weeks, and probably be her swan song in NXT over the next couple weeks, leading into Takeover and then add a Takeover as we head into WrestleMania and NXT Takeover Tampa Bay. We'll see. So like I said, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that match, and that was pretty much it. All right, then we get a video package of the Dakota Kai Tegan Knox feud. They show their friendship and then the disintegration with that. After Tegan got picked for War Games, Kai out attacks Tegan in the cage and then messes up her leg. So Tegan was out for a while. Then Tegan comes back and gets thrown out by Dakota in the Battle Royal. So we get that. Dakota says she wasn't in the Battle Royal last week because she doesn't play by Tegan's rules. Tegan promises to end Dakota while Dakota says she's due for another injury. And they're going to have a match this coming Wednesday night on the program. So I was thinking maybe they would do that takeover, but get it next week on the program. Should be a decent match. And these women hate each other with a passion. And it's going to come to a head in the ring. See what happens. I think Dakota might win the match, but we'll see. Maybe Tegan will shock us all, but we'll see. So I gave that little video package, which was pretty decent. I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. You know, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. All right, then we get to the semi-final match of the Dusty Rhodes tournament. We got the Broserweights, Pete fucking Dunne and Matt Riddle taking on Imperium of Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel. I think that's his name. I could be wrong. We had Alexander Wolf and Walter at ringside. This was great. This was a good match. This was a pretty good match. Like all the matches in the tournament have been. Pretty decent to good. Starts up with Pete Dunne and Fabian Aichner going at it. Some grappling and then a standoff. Barthel comes in, then pounds and pounds Pete Dunne working on the arm. And they take care of Pete Dunne with some double team moves. Pete Dunne counters back into a clothesline, tags in Matt Riddle. They double team Aichner for a near fall. Riddle hits a suplex. Barthel then comes in, eats a couple of suplexes of his own. And then Matt Riddle goes for the Broton. Counters that into some strikes, tags in Aichner. And then Pete Dunne comes in, takes out his knee. Also with a German suplex and a head kick on Barthel. Then he hits a crucifix bomb for a near fall. Then he hits a moonsault to the floor. An X-Plex on the apron. And then Pete Dunne faces off against Walter. They've had some history over the NXT UK title. Walter was the one that beat Pete Dunne at it was Blackpool 1 or Blackpool. Yeah, it had to be Blackpool 1 or one of those NXT takeover events in the UK. That was pretty interesting. Then afterwards, Barthel attacks. Aichner follows with a running knee strike. As we go to break, we come back. They're working over Pete Dunne for a while. They hit some double team moves. Pete Dunne comes back with desperation. Insecurity gets the hot tag. The Matt Riddle comes in like a house of fire with some kicks and some strikes. Then some suplexes, a couple brotons, and some penalty kicks. After that, he's going to work on them. Hits a Fisherman's Buster, and Pete Dunne joins in some double teams. And then they get ran into each other. Riddle sent into the ring post, and then Aichner and Barthel hit double drop kicks. Then Aichner comes in on a tag. Riddle fights him off, and Pete Dunne then gets the tag in and quickly cut off as Riddle makes the save. And then Pete Dunne counters him to a Kimura lock as Riddle gets an ankle lock, so it looked like they had double submissions on Imperium. Looked to take him out. Imperium fights out of it. Riddle hits the Final Flash! Vegeta does, but it is what it is. Hits that. And then Pete Dunne hits some rights and then a double spear. Also after that. Then Matt Riddle hits the Bro Hammer. Fall. He heads up top. Aichner cuts him off. Pete Dunne tags in. Aichner hits a Brain Buster as they attack Pete Dunne. They go for the European bomb to finish it off, but it gets countered. Riddle hits a German suplex and then a power bomb. and the knee strike and a pop-up enziguri finishes it off as the Broserweights get the upset victory over the Imperium, the NXT UK champions. So they pick up the victory. They will go on to face the Grizzled Young Veterans this Wednesday night in the finals of the Dusty Rhodes American Dream Tag Team Classic. It should be a great match between these two great teams. And we'll see what happens with them on Wednesday night. Match was great. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. I mean, that. The end of the match was great. The flurry at the end with Matt Riddle was great. And that's all I got to say about that. After the match, the Grizzled Young Vets arrive. They call the Bruiserweights a bunch of jokes. Gibson calls Dunn selfish, saying he's the roadblock they've run into during their careers. NXT UK with the NXT UK title that Pete Dunne held for almost 2 years. It was like 500 and some odd, 600 days, somewhere around there. Anyway, but that changes all next week. Riddle says he only listened to Gibson saying something about manipulating a joint. Okay. Pete Dunne says they always lose to him, and it will happen again next week. We'll see. I think either team could win the match and go on to beat the Undisputed Era for the belts. I think it's going to be Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne winning the belts, the Broserweights. They'll go on to NXT TakeOver Portland, beat Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish for the tag belts, hold it for a while, and they probably turn on each other. Then there's sort of another feud between each other, and then somebody's gonna win those damn belts again. It might be Imperium. I think they're gonna lose the UK tag belt soon. I don't know who. Maybe those are Young Vets, or it could be the Time Splitters. Even though I think Alex Shelley just did that one night only thing last week. I think because I think that the Time Splitters was just a one-time thing, and that was it. I don't think Alex Shelley signed a contract with NXT, but you never know. So I think both tag belts will change eventually over the next couple months. Like I said, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne will win next week. Go on to TakeOver Portland, beat the Undisputed Era for the belts. We defend them on NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay against the Undisputed Era again, and or maybe on TV, and they'll retain the belts there. The Undisputed Era probably gonna go to the main roster at this point. I mean, there's really nothing for them to do in NXT. Adam Cole will lose the NXT World Title probably at WrestleMania weekend. Ciampa, but maybe it might be Finn Balor, but I think it's gonna be Ciampa. You could lose it at TakeOver Portland if they have the match. They're kind of hyping it, but not really announced yet. But it probably will be announced for TakeOver Portland, and probably Ciampa will win, and the Undisputed Era's prophecy blows up in their face. And then we'll get some rematches, and then I don't know what's gonna happen by the middle WrestleMania time. What happens after WrestleMania? If the Undisputed Era get called up to the main roster, and then we'll see maybe Adam Cole in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Body will go into like maybe an IC title picture, or maybe a US title picture. I think it'd be US title most likely. I think he's gonna go to Raw. Adam Cole will probably be thrust into the WWE title picture. O'Reilly and Fish will be thrust into the tag team title picture with the AOP and Viking Raiders and maybe the Street Profits. See what happens with that. Like I said, it's all in my mind and in other people's minds, so you never know. It might happen by June or July. By the time Money in the Bank comes your way, you might see the Undisputed Era up on the main roster. You might see Shayna Baszler on the main roster. Maybe with the Raw Women's title, holding it for like a year. So I think the only person that could beat her is either Ronda Rousey coming back at SummerSlam, or maybe at the Rumble, and they have a match together. Nice little challenge or whatever. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. So we'll see what happens this Wednesday night with the Broserweights and the Grizzled Young Vets for the Dusty Rhodes American Dream Tag Team Classic Finals and see who goes on to face the Undisputed Era at NXT TakeOver Portland coming up on February the 16th. So it should be a good match, and we'll see what happens with that. And we move. All right. After that, we get to the main event for the North American title. Roderick Strong, excuse me, takes on the #1 contender Keith Lee, who we can all bask in his glory. And that's all I gotta say about that. The Undisputed Era at ringside. So I was thinking it was gonna end in a DQ and Roddy was gonna retain. But oh ye of little faith, we did a nice 20-minute match, pretty good match all in all. Starts off with Roddy trying for a takedown, and then slaps Keith Lee right in the face, which pissed him off. Fires back some chops, right hands, tosses Strong across the ring. As Roddy goes to the outside, as we go to break, we come back, pick up the pace a little bit. Keith Lee hits a running crossbody to the floor. Lee controls the Undisputed Era, distract him. All three members, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish, distract him. Strong attacks a bad ankle that they attacked last week. That came into play a little bit. He slams the ankle off the steps, stomps away at it, traps the ankle on the steps, crushes it with a stomp, hurting it even more. I thought Keith Lee wasn't going to be able to stand on his feet. Finish the match. They go back in. Strong covers for a near fall. He keeps things grounded for a while, targeting the ankle. Smart move by the champion. Lee kicks him away, but Roddy attacks again, keeps him down. Then they go back and forth. Roddy goes back to work on the ankle until Lee kicks him off and goes to the floor. Go back in. Roddy gets an ankle lock. He kicks him away, but Roddy follows with running strikes, takes Lee down, goes for a near fall. Continues to work on the ankle. And some strikes. Lee fires back, hits a flapjack, gets fired up, then hits a power slam for a near fall. But he can barely stand on his feet. Hits a massive spine buster for a near fall. As Roddy goes to the floor, Lee follows him out, rolls him back in. Adam Cole takes the ref. He doesn't take the ref out. He distracts the referee as Bobby Fish kicks at Lee's ankle. Roddy hits a DDT for a near fall. Then they both go down after Lee hits a headbutt. Gets to his feet. Goes to ropes. Roddy cuts him off. Calls him up. Lee fights him off. And Strong attacks the ankle. And hits a really painful looking avalanche angle slam. But Keith Lee gets out at 1. And he's firing up. He hits some chops. And then he hits the pounce! Period. On Roddy, setting him over the ropes. The outside. He goes out. They go back in. He hits a crushing lariat on Roddy for a near fall. Goes up top. This is the Doom Salt, or the Moonsault, whatever you want to call it. Roddy gets the ankle lock in. Grapevines the leg, a la Kurt Angle and a bunch of other people have done that move. Keith Lee got the ropes. Roddy held on for the 5 count. Then they go back and forth. Lee drops him, and then Adam Cole distracts him, but he gets taken out. Then he takes out Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Strong hits a jumping knee, and then the sick kick for a near fall. He goes to pick up Keith Lee in a fireman's carry, but Keith Lee counts into ground zero. And goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. We have a new champion. Keith Lee, we can all bask in his glory. He's the champion. Like I said, he will be. I thought it was going to be a TakeOver, but they did it early. It's okay. I think we're going to rematch at TakeOver anyway for the North American title. But a very good match. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. And Keith Lee starts off his 2020 like he ended 2019. Winning the Breakout Star of the Year for 2019. He starts off 2020 on a big note, winning the North American title, his first major title in NXT. And the sky's the limit for this guy. I think he will get the world title by the spring or maybe by the summer. Onto it for a while. And I'd like to see him in the Royal Rumble. Possibly win it and face Brock Lesnar and possibly win the WWE title, but they're pointing a million directions right now. We still don't know who might win. People saying it might be Drew McIntyre. They're saying this will go and go wire to wire and win the Royal Rumble, causing a big chaos over who's going to fight him at WrestleMania. It could be Keith Lee. It could be Roman, which I don't want. I don't want a repeat of 2015. He came out as number 30. I think Roman's coming out like number 25. He's not going to come out at number 30 again. They're not going to do 2015 revisited. I don't think so. If anyone comes out at number 30, it's probably going to be Edge. And it could be somebody different. CM Punk. Let's be real. It's not going to be him. But I would love to see Keith Lee in the Royal Rumble and throw out Brock Lesnar and possibly win the whole thing. But CM Punk wanted him to win. I would go with that too, but I really think it should be Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre deserves to win the Royal Rumble. If it's Roman, it's gonna be stupid, and people gonna revolt and riot and do humongous rants about it. I'm probably gonna do a rant because really Roman doesn't need to win it again and face Bray Wyatt for the Universal title and win it at WrestleMania like everybody's predicting he will. I really don't want to see Brock and Roman for the millionth time, and then Roman wins the WWE title, goes back to Raw. I really don't want to see that. It's pathetic to see Roman and Brock go at it a million times, and the promos going back and forth with Heyman and Roman, it would just be monotonous and boring. We'll see what happens. So, anyway, Keith Lee gets the win, is the North American champion. The Undisputed Era Prophecy takes a big hit. The end of the end of the prophecy is at hand. I think they'll lose the tag belts at TakeOver Portland to Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, and then Adam Cole will lose his title probably at WrestleMania weekend to Tommaso Ciampa. I think they'll have the match at TakeOver Portland. Adam Cole will win by disqualification. Ciampa will win by disqualification. Adam Cole will keep the belt, keep claiming the prophecy's still intact, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, Ciampa will get his rematch at TakeOver Tampa Bay, win the title, and the Undisputed Era Prophecy will end. And I think they'll go to the main roster probably by then, or they'll stay in NXT for the rest of the summer, and probably into the next War Games event coming up November 2020. Because they've been in every War Games match, so why not put them in for the fourth year in a row? But we'll see what happens when we get there. So we get that, and then afterwards we end the show with Keith Lee holding the belt. He leaves the ring, going up the ramp with the belt, celebrating, and then the Undisputed Era is pissed off, and it gets worse as Imperium comes from the outside of the ring. And they have a big stare down. Then they have a massive brawl to hype the Worlds Collide event this weekend. And then it's Walter and Adam Cole in the ring. And Walter annihilates him with a nasty looking chop, sends Cole flipping all over the place. And that ends the night for NXT. That's it for NXT. I gave it 7.5 out of 10 stars. But congratulations to Keith Lee on winning the North American title. I think he'll have a nice little run with the belt. Probably not too long. 2, 3, 4 months at best. But I don't know. Maybe 5, 6 months reign. Maybe the Velveteen Dream comes back and goes for the title he kind of lost. But kind of really didn't lose. It is what it is. I don't know when Velveteen Dream's coming back, if at all, with that back injury he has. I don't know what's happening with him. I haven't heard any news about him. I don't know when he's coming back, if he's coming back at all. Maybe he'll come back at the Royal Rumble, like I predicted months ago, but he's not going to win it. I'll be shocked if he comes back and wins it. But I just don't think he will win it. I'll be shocked if he comes back. But that's all I got to say about that. And that's it. So we'll see what happens. This Wednesday night on the program, we got the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic with the Grizzled Young Veterans and the Broserweights. We'll see who wins the cup. and goes on to face the Undisputed Era at TakeOver Portland. And we see what other stuff happens on the show as we get inch closer and closer to NXT TakeOver Portland on February the 16th, which is a couple weeks away. So that's it. Thank you all for watching this video. Like I said, I gave NXT 7.5 out of 10 stars. And that's it. So thank you all for watching. If you have any wrestling questions regarding NXT, regarding AEW, Raw, SmackDown, and that's pretty much it for that. That's it. So thank you all for watching. I'm Peter Gilmore signing off. Check out my AEW review in the description box. And I'm out. Peace, bitches.